All right. So let's say you've been given to sketch. Let's say x squared minus. No, it's okay. Let's say you've been asked to sketch this one: x squared minus 4x. Let me say plus 3 is equal to. If I say is equal to, then that will become an equation. So this is a function. So it will be f of x is equal to this. You want to sketch. So this is a quadratic. You need to find the turning point. You need also to find the intercepts. So to find the turning point, you need to complete the squares. First thing, make sure that the number in front of x squared is a 1. For this one, it's already a 1, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write x. Remember, there is a minus here, minus. And then whatever the number here, I'm going to get the half of it. What is the half of 4? 2. I'm writing 2 like that. And then I'm going to put this in brackets. I'll square. Okay? And then always subtract. Like always subtract. This same number which is here, which you got after dividing the number on top by 2, square it. That will give you a 4. So I'll write it here. And then I'll write the 3 at the end. So I've completed the squares. So this is x minus 2 squared minus 1. So I've completed the squares here. Meaning that the turning point for this one, okay, the turning point, the x value is what you're able to see in the brackets, just change the sign. So since it's negative, so it means it's positive 2. The y value is the one outside, negative 1. So this is the turning point. And then we can find the x-intercepts. Now we know that x-intercepts, where the graph cuts the x-axis, happens when y is equal to 0. So I'm going to equate this equation to 0 to solve for x. So I'm going to say this is if I want, I can get this point. It will actually be even much easier to get this point. If I want, I'll just get the one on top. I find the product and the sum. Let me show you just this one down. Like it's anyone you get, it will be the same. So x minus 2 squared minus 1. This is of course equal to the function. So equate it to 0. Take 1 the other side, so that will be x minus 2 squared being equal to 1. To do away with this square root both sides. What's the square root of 1? Positive 1 or negative 1. So x is positive or negative 1. And then I'll take 2 the other side, meaning that x is equal to 2 plus 1, which is 3, or x is going to be equal to, if 2 goes the other side, it will be 2 minus 1, which is a 1. So meaning that the x-intercepts, you've seen we have got 3, remember y is 0, 3 comma 0 and positive 1 comma 0. Is this okay? And then the other thing that you have to find is the y-intercept. Now for y-intercept, what should be the value of x? Yes. So for the y-intercept, you just look at the function itself. Like this constant you see is the y-intercept, because if x is 0, put 0 here, put 0 here, there will be 0. So just get that constant. So x is 0, and then y will be that same constant, which is a 3. And then you have them or turning point x and y intercepts. So you can now easily sketch. So the x values, we have got a positive 3, a positive 1, We also have y being equal to positive 3 somewhere. Okay, we also have y being equal to a negative 1 somewhere. And then we also have a positive 2 for x. So I'm just going to put these coordinates. So the turning point, you've seen that it is at 2 comma negative 1. So the turning point is here, somewhere there. Actually, every time you see that the function, the number in front of x squared is positive, just know that the function is going to have a minimum. And then the graph has got x-intercept at 3 and at 1. Okay, so I'm going to put also those values here and also here. And remember also have a y-intercept at 0 comma 3, which is here. And the function is just going to go like this. Then it turns. Supposed to pass through that point, though I've not passed at the right one, like that. That's a graph. Is this okay? At times they're going to ask you that find, you will see that find sketch f of x, the absolute value of f of x. You are going to see this. Sketch the absolute value of f of x. So for you to be able to sketch the absolute value of f of x, just get like, do everything that we have done, okay? Like everything, find the turning point, x and y intercepts, and also find the, okay, the x and y intercepts, yes, and the turning point. But since you are talking about the absolute value, meaning that you're not supposed to have a you don't need to have negative values of y, meaning that this turning point, which was negative 1, it will become positive 1, so it will be somewhere here. So meaning that the graph is going to move. Instead of the turning point being at 2 comma negative 1, it will be 2 comma positive 1 to be here. So we are going to do this. So we are going to reflect it up, meaning that for that function, after you've drawn the function itself, and then you can delete this portion which was below. Like you can delete that portion which was below, and then it continues going up like that, and it continues going up like that. So it's just the same function, but don't draw on the negative. The one which was a negative value becomes positive. Is this okay? Okay, let's look at another one. Let's say they've given you f of x, which is equal to 6, let's say minus x, and then minus 2x squared. They ask that you sketch this function. So first thing first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the function is written in the general form, like in standard form. So f of x, I'm starting with the one with power 2, but remember it is negative. So that will be negative 2x squared. And then x is also negative. That will be negative x. And then this 6 is positive, so positive 6. Okay, from here now, I'll make sure that the number in front of x squared is a 1. So for the first two, I'll just get the first two. I'm going to factorize out the number in front of 2, which is a negative. I mean the number in front of x squared, which is a negative 2. And then we're going to remain with, what are we going to remain with? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, a half x. So don't make a mistake of putting a minus on the middle there because you factorize out a negative. Okay, after you do this now, the next thing, this is going to be negative 2. I'm going to write a big bracket like that. Okay, and then what is inside there? I'm just going to write x. And now I'm going to get what is the half of 1 over 2. So I'll write 1 over 4. You've seen I've not written the square, so even the 1 over 4 I'll not put x, and then I'll put a square outside, and then I'll subtract. Please always subtract. Whether there is a minus on the middle here or a plus, always put a minus. And then I'm going to square this very value which is here. 1 over 4 squared, that will be 1 over 16. And then I'll close the bracket like that. And then the constant 6, I'm going to write it outside there. So this is going to be negative. Now I'll start multiplying this negative 2 with what is inside. So that will be negative 2x plus 1 over 4 squared. And then negative 2 again times the negative 1 over 16. That will become positive 1 over 8. And then plus a 6. So don't multiply the negative 2 with a 6 because 6 is just different. Okay, it's for it is a constant outside. So this is going to give us negative 2 in brackets x plus 1 over 4 squared, and then you just add 1 over 8 plus 6. We know it's 6 over 1. So multiply 1 by 1, which is a 1, plus 8 times 6. What do we get? 8 times 6? 48. And then we divide by 8 times 1, which is a 1. So this is giving us 49. Sorry, 8 times 1, which is 8. It is giving us 49 over 8. Meaning that for this function, what is going to be the turning point? What will be the turning point? Mhm. Negative 1 over 4, comma 49 over 8. I said always get what is inside the brackets. You change the sign. If it was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it becomes positive. The next thing that we need to find are the x-intercepts, which you know that they happen when y is equal to 0. So we'll get to write the function itself. Okay, the function which we had, we are going to have, that was what? Is it a negative 2 x squared minus x plus 6? So equate it to 0. If you look at this function, the product is negative 12. The sum is negative 1. What will be the factors? What are going to be the factors such that if you multiply, you get negative 12, you add, you get a negative 1? Okay, negative 4 and positive 3, not the other way around. You need the negative on the bigger number because you are getting some as negative. So this is going to be negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x plus 6 equal to 0. Meaning that negative 2x, open brackets, x plus 2, and then for this one we're going to factorize out to 3x plus 2 equal to 0. So that will give us negative 2x plus 3x plus 2 being equal to 0. So the x-intercepts, we are going to find that if we equate this to 0, what will be the value of x that we are going to find? So this will give us positive 3 over 2, not negative 3 over 2. So that will be 3 over 2 comma 0 and negative 2 comma 0. If this 3 goes the other side, it will become negative. So we're going to have negative 2x is equal to negative 3. So you get a positive value. And then the y-intercept, what will be the y-intercept in this case? When x is 0, what will be the value for y? Okay, y will be positive 6. Just look at the constant of the function there. So we can now sketch. X there, y there. So for x, we've seen we have got also a negative 2 somewhere. Oh, this is y, a negative 2. You also have 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is just about 1.5. So let me say it is somewhere here, 3 over 2. Now, because the x squared, the term in x squared had the negative in front, meaning that we're going to have a maximum for this function. You can see that the turning point is at what? Negative 1 over 4. Okay, that is the x value, negative 1 over 4, which would be like, if this is negative 2, negative 1 will be here, negative half will be here. Negative 1 over 4 is half of half. So it will be somewhere there. Okay, this is negative 1. And then 49 over 8. So 8 goes into 49. How many times? Is it about 6 times? Remainder 1. So it should be somewhere 6. So it will be approximately above 6, meaning that the coordinate is going to be like somewhere very near 6, but a little above. That is where the turning point is going to be. And then it's supposed to pass through here, supposed to pass through here. It's also supposed to pass through 6 because that's the y-intercepts. So this graph is supposed to go like that. Also down here, supposed to go like that. So if the question was find or sketch the absolute value of f of x, the part that is going on the negative side, you need to turn it. So in such a case, instead of these lines going down here, we're going to move them. We are going to turn them up like that. That will be the absolute value of that function. You turn them like that. So you not draw these lines if you are talking about the absolute